Greetings from a treehouse in the primeval Hambaka forest, defended by direct action since 2012 against coal mining. I find this an apt moment to give insight to the forest defense movement, as, like so many places, just some 100 meters from here, the Sündi forest is also coming under attack in the next few weeks, it seems. So I share a poem that was spoken to the court in defense of the Dannenröder forest. This also takes place high up in the trees, and the encounter with the anti-terrorist police force. So I make a content warning for brutality, ecocide, and also sexual violence. I share this poem in thanks to all those that take the front lines and all those that support them. I make it as an invitation for our opposition to get curious about how these places are also acting in your best interests as well. So this is the opening poem. On the 26th of November 2020, I awoke to the sound of alarm aplenty. Cops and machines closing in to tear down us and our defence. The German state adhering to the climate emergency, a gross pretense. I said goodbye to the comrades, the tree that I left, set out on a traverse holding on to my faith in eco-justice, not quite bereft. I believed and still do that if we hold evictions back long enough, win-win solutions can come from a practice called love. And there I intended to be, peacefully moving tree to tree, and be a guardian to the living world as it had guarded me, and together demonstrate that we will never surrender to the murders of the living beings that we hold to this degree tender. 58% biodiversity loss in the past 40 years. This is the reality of deforestation, and it has brought me to tears. The fire salamander, the bats, the dormouse, where will they go when the homes of endangered species are fast becoming roads? This enchanted world is becoming impoverished by exploitation. Climate science warns of a 4 degrees warming estimation. The solution is carbon in the ground. It filters the water this land and its people are drinking. How can contaminating life's foundation not disturb enough profiteer thinking? Forests also cool our planet by CO2 sequestration. They regulate the water cycle and prevent inundation. Forests bring us joy because their beauty is beyond measure. We encourage everyone to explore these wonders that are a common treasure. And there I found myself between trees with cops on each side, and just like that dormouse, I ran for a treehouse to hide. I switched my securing from one traverse to the next, but was pulled back in a way that buckled my legs. Cop K214 was pulling on one of my tape slings, and any climber will tell you the danger that that brings. Attached to a harness that secures my life, the situation became more than ecological strife. I could not keep my balance, and likewise my mind went unstable. In this moment, to keep calm and avoid repression, I just was not able. The only thing I wanted was to get away from this aggressive being. The reports of police brutality everyone had been seeing. This police force had been letting activists fall from increasingly shocking heights, with one suffering spinal injuries. Who knows what they recklessly might. Distrustful, being pulled, losing center, all for me was really not okay. In the fearful disarray, my impulse made me further disobey. I struck out my foot as a warning for him to back off. Evidence shows he was double secured, of course, from any 15-meter drop. I usually know to keep one's limbs where the police can see them is where they better be, but amidst all the stress, a survival instinct took hold of me, and my body reacted in a way that offended the police. Here, condemned of a violent attack, I remind us of the greater attack we intended to cease. Invaluable, centuries-old trees crashing to the ground, people in their thousands making unbelievable sound, yet officials in their offices ignoring and handing out licenses. We, through weeks of chainsaw noise, were so saddened by forest night silences. Other animals having fled because corporate money is being prioritized, was fragmented, poisoned, when this financial growth has been authorized. K214 tied my sling to a branch lower than me. Still pressed with the aim of setting myself free, I reached for the carabiner that kept me from a safer place. I tried to open it, my heart in a loaded race. He told me, "Verbistic," I told him, "I want to." He claims that I swore to him. I tell you, I did not do. Then, on my hand, I felt the pelt of a metal ring that came from a strike whipped from a sling. I tried to keep my balance, but he continued inflicting pain. Using wrist grips, I was screaming, "Their will to torture, we conclude to blame." At tape sling's length, I stayed as cop D111 on tree stabbing spikes arose, and out of nowhere he punched me hard in the nose, then threatened me with a taser, to which a coldness ran through me. I had been shocked enough. This escalation so unnecessary. From the impact, my face began to swell. They tried to tie my feet. All this for me was hell. I pushed off my shoe and they eventually cut me from the traverse. But it was after being lowered to the ground, I really felt their curse. As they took their weight off me, and as I had turned, the police crowd surrounding me, K214 affirmed, with a snarl so vindictive that of me they would make a show. But am I really a frame deterrent when everybody knows that this repression is a scare tactic, an aim discredit, an activist distraction, but on the contrary, all the more for peaceful direct action? The Ella case has brought an awareness of criminalization at the mercy of the state. Ella uses this to remind us that we and ecosystems have a common fate. In disbelief, lying on the forest floor that last time, the police crowd surrounding me, orchestrating this crime, I felt something so horrible that anyone would wish to escape. I thought that this must be partly like what to be gang raped. And can you imagine how the earth feels to be shed of her skin? This lack of relation to our downfall it may bring. Because of this situation, I have been in prison for 529 long days. The support of countless comrades made me unafraid. These are the people that never asked me for any personal documentation. Eco-defense, our intention, the most important identifying information. I also say this poem to have an unjust sentence reversed. And I give the statement of facts to you in this verse. So meaning and harmony out of struggle can be acknowledged, even admired. Thus, one day contribute to the zero-sum games of ecocide and repression, one day retired. I say everything I know to be true, and the feeling of whether to trust me lies in each one of you. We are in this together, whether we like it or not. With demolished habitats, warming temperatures, the universe is giving us a shot to reassess our values that must include the lives of others, with compassion for the earth and a misjudgment of criminals rediscover. I thank you for your intention that dissolves our separation. I hope that out of crisis depths we can provide a transformation. So that scenario happened almost 5 years ago, and recently the higher regional court decided that to end the case they would order Ella back to prison for 112 days. To achieve what? A world of more compassion or a world of more suffering? These are our choices. So in case you would like to read that poem and get more insight to the forest defense movement, you can check out the website burnimprisonments.noblogs.org and find Ella's memoir. You can also find directions to the translation if you speak German. And yeah, thank you for listening. I hope that we provide a transformation. Good luck.